Hello, good evening, everyone. I'm sorry we've had some technical glitches, so to speak, and have joined in late, but I hope some of you are going to join us. I know this is a wonderful program that we are on, and Mr. Saxena has been extremely gracious in waiting it out with me and waiting it out to see that everything works fine. And we have Manoj Krishnan to thank for this wonderful platform. It's his vision that we carry forward in spreading art and culture all through Asia. And it is his endeavor that has brought us to such great heights. And we today have with us Mr. Ajai Saxena, who's an artist and he's a conservationist as well. So let me give a brief introduction to him. And it's actually brief, even though he deserves a much greater introduction, but I'm sure you will get an insight into the man. So Mr. Ajai Saxena was born in Rani Khet, and he had his early childhood education in various places, including Kalagarh near Corbett National Park and in Nainital. After graduation in life sciences from University of Allahabad in 1980, he was working along with Dr. Salim Ali in the avifauna fauna research project of Bombay Natural History Society on bird migration. Thereafter, he completed Masters in Zoology from Allahabad and joined Indian Forest Service and worked extensively in UP and states of Andaman and Nicobar, in Goa, in Mizoram, Arunachal Pradesh, and in various capacities. He's worked as a faculty member in Wildlife Institute of India, Dehradun, and he's participated in the 16th Indian scientific expedition to Antarctica in 96-97 and conducted research on marine mammals and birds. In Government of India, he worked as a director in the Department of Ocean Development and Ministry of Earth Sciences, looking after the Indian Antarctic Program, and later as Joint Secretary in the Department of Food and Public Distribution. He recently retired from Arunachal Pradesh after heading the state's Forest Department. Very warm welcome to you, Ajay, and we are so privileged to have you with us.
Thank you, Neeti ji. I must convey my thanks and appreciation to the Asian Literary Society and especially Mr. Manoj Krishnan, who I think has done a wonderful job in providing this platform and bringing people from different walk of life, but who are basically either in literature or literary field or in art form, different art forms, to a wider audience. And I think I hope that this will continue on a much bigger scale in coming time.
Yes, in fact, he's doing wonderfully well and making quite a name for himself. So we are so proud to be a part of this.
Sure. I'm thankful
to begin with,
yeah.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. So to begin with, I'd like to read a small poem that I have composed myself. There are just a few lines from the poem that I read for you, because they are the sentiments of a child who wants to be a part of a better world and to leave behind a better world. So he says, I am your child, I want to fulfill your dreams. And he says, I want to breathe fresh air and smell the flowers. I wear a pollution mask. I want to play unhindered. I'm put in enclosures with unlimited caution. I wish to float in the waters of free-flowing rivers. I swim in a pool of chemicals. I want to eat fresh, healthy fruit. I get tasteless produce covered with pesticide. I want to drink clean water. I consume plastic along with bottled liquid. I find this world fascinating. I want to ask questions, but there are no answers. The world believes that I will work wonders. The sun will shine brighter, not hidden behind a haze. The sky will be blue and devoid of smoke from burning farms. There will be good health, prosperity, and happiness. Brotherhood will prevail and love will be the universal language. I will give back manifold your investment in me. Fill me with your love, understanding, and trust. Allow me to soak in knowledge from far and wide. I am your child. I want to fulfill your dreams. So
Beautiful.
that's the poem. Thank you. But we look forward to people such as you and take inspiration from people such as you who have spent their life in conservation, in trying to make this world a better place. And we are so very, very grateful to you. And I would like to ask you that you began your journey in the Himalayan area. That was your early childhood. And it was also the time you gained, your education over there. Do you
Sure.
feel that the magnificence of the Himalayas is what kindled the love of nature within you?
Yeah, when I was born, things were much different. Nature was still pristine, so to say. Development has not happened in a way it has happening now, large scale. And I think Himalayas, in their form, they are like a crown of our country, India. uh, very geologically speaking, they're very young mountains, and but they are a source of inspiration for spiritual and creative uh, thinkers or artists and sages both. And for centuries, I think Himalayas have kindled a sort of a keen sense of adventurism, as well as to seek the questions which we why about this earth, about this environment, and so many other things. So I think getting born. Himalayas will impact anyone, their scale, the grand scale, and everything. So,
Yes,
doubt about it.
absolutely. Agree with you. And is that when you began sketching and began to, hone your art of painting and photography? Is that when it happened?
No, I was too young at that time because the initial first 2 3 years. But yeah, it must have made some impression on me because I remember in class one to early classes, I was pretty good in sketching and making uh, color paintings, and I think I was one of the best in my class in those days, and that helped me in developing. But I was not sketching Himalayas as such at that time because
Ji.
my father was in a government job and we kept on getting transferred from point A to B. But yeah,
Ji.
I went back to Himalayas in a later stage of my life. And shortly after joining Forest Service, it gave me much more opportunities to travel across Himalayas, both in the northern part and later on in the northeast and eastern Himalayas also. And yeah, I did spend some time in Dehradun, and again, that there was a point of time when I started uh, doing more sketching and painting. Once I had some free time.
That's wonderful. In fact, we have a short video to show to everybody where the process of your sketching and making beautiful artwork out of it is with us. And let me try and play that for everyone. That was a fantastic presentation of yours, and the process of sketching is so beautifully captured in that. You were in the Andaman and Nicobar Islands as a part of your initial Indian Forest Service, and what do you feel that over there? What inspired you to begin capturing images of birds? And then I also noticed that we will show another video of that. You have captured birds in their habitats. Could you shed some light on that?
You know, I was influenced by an ornithologist of 19th century who actually John Gould and his wife Elizabeth Gould, and they made paintings of Indian birds and in Asian birds and all. And they had this technique in which the landscape or the habitat was shown, it makes a lot of difference. It just a photograph or a painting of a bird or an animal doesn't speak much about it. But if we can bring the landscape where they are found, then it gives us a much better idea about the species or what's happening around that particular species. And that's what I've tried to do. It Andamans, in general, they are one of the most beautiful places on earth, and we have been able to protect the forests and the coral reef on the marine side in a better way, because the pressure of human beings is not that much, and not many islands are open for tourists or settlements, and we do have Aboriginal tribes who are living there for thousands of years. So that has protected the island, and I found this just work-wise we were protecting and conserving things, but to convey what is seen over there in a better form, I started making paintings that way. And we have got a lot of endemic birds which are only found in Andamans. So I had made a series of those birds which are only found in Andamans. Uh, that I think, and I think the landscape, the grandness, the oceans, and everything else actually excites one's mind and maybe motivates to capture it in a sense which can be of some it help us in our growth and in conveying our own thinking in a way.
So, what is interesting in the way you pointed out, that it is not just you who understands conservation and who has been trying to conserve and pass on a message through your art. It is the locals also who are very, very particular and who love their habitat and what they have been granted by nature, and they are a part of this entire process of conservation. That I find extremely inspiring and enchanting in a certain way, because it again tells us that probably in trying to be modern or trying to catch up with times, we might be going astray. Those who are still close to nature remain as they are. And I would like to share another video of yours with everyone, and hope to, be able to show it without a glitch. There seems to be a bit of a glitch. So I think I will wait a few seconds more. Could you tell us a little bit more about Andaman Islands, and which is your favorite bird over there and which you enjoyed sketching the most? This I am
Uh,
doing. Let's because waiting for StreamYard to stabilize a little bit. So we would love to hear that.
Yeah, as I said, endemic birds, which I have tried to capture them. Like we have got a bird which is known as megapode, or a thermometer
Mm-hmm.
bird, which is it's an ancient bird because it doesn't brood over the eggs. It like reptiles, it makes a mound nest, big mound nest of leaves and all, and leave the eggs over there. And it's
Okay.
like a community nesting in which the chicks hatch on their own, and the temperature is maintained at a constant temperature of almost 40 degrees Celsius around that time. Uh, that On its own, and the chicks will hatch and they start be on their own. The parents won't feed them. So that's one
Oh,
beautiful bird
lovely.
found in Nicobar group. And similarly, we had one endemic Narcondam hornbill, which I have tried to capture. It's found only in one of the islands, which is an extinct volcano. And we do have a live volcano also, Barren Island. So this is the end of the ring of fire, which starts from Japan and passes through Indonesia and ends in Andamans. So these islands are actually the sunken mountain range, which were linked to Burma on the north, and on south they were linked to the Sumatra island. And yeah, during tsunami time also a lot of damage happened, but that's all natural. This is how islands were formed, and this is how islands will continue to be uh, impacted upon in future also. But
Wonderful, wonderful. No, so my question is related to art here in this case. When you do your painting, what exactly do you use as material? Is it watercolors? Do you paint in oils? Do you do your sketching with the normal pencil? What is the process that you follow?
Yeah, actually, I do sketching on a sketchbook using pencils, different type of pencils, and of late I started using colored pencil also. The watercolor pencils now you get them in
Oh,
good
nice.
number. So it's easy to do it in the field because otherwise it is not uh, easy to sketch something which is fast moving or the platform may be unstable like a ship or a boat, thing like that, or it must be freezing cold like what it was in Antarctica, so or raining. So normally I use do the sketching if possible and take photographs also because I carry a camera with me all the time. And later on, the I will make some of the paintings. So I still have so many sketches, but still maybe I might have painted about 5% of that. So the process of painting is long because I do watercolor. It's easy to do oil paints, but watercolor it takes time. And at least I'm not a trained person. I'm a self-trained person. I've not done any training in art or
But you
painting.
paint beautifully.
Yeah, I can. I manage. So
No, we see your work. And at this moment of time, I'm reading out. I have not been able to display the comments for fear of some kind of interruption, but you're getting lovely comments from our audience. Let me read a few of them. There's Komal who's saying that your presentation is lovely and inspiring. There's Anil Kumarji who's saying the content is absolutely beautiful. And there's Zeba Tabassum who's with us, and she's wishing us well for this program. You know, Saxena sir, I would like to just quickly go over to Antarctica and speak to you about that before I start to share the videos. For the same reason that I feel we should, have a bit of a gap, and let's cover this life of yours, and then we go back to our visuals. So, Antarctica, how did it even come about? I mean, it must have been a dream come true for you.
yeah, I saw a movie made by British Antarctic Survey way back in 1957. It was made, but I saw it 77 in Nainital, and that movie was crossing the Antarctica. So there was a trans-Antarctic expedition of joint expedition. One side was UK team, which started from the west side, and from the east side, the New Zealand team under Edmund Hillary, uh, the first person to climb Mount Everest.
Yes,
And
yes.
I met him when he was doing the ocean to sky expedition in Allahabad. He passed
Oh,
through these
lovely.
two jet boats. At that time, he started from Calcutta and then he went right up to I think Rudraprayag. Beyond that, he couldn't go. They wanted to travel right up to the Gomuk.
Oh, yes, he was doing
So
it from source to
yeah,
from delta to source. Yes, I
yes.
remember.
So I
Hmm.
met him at that time in Allahabad. I think 77, uh, late 77. And this film was so inspirational. In those days we didn't have TV, television, and also this films was our main source of information and inspiration also. So at that time I decided, uh, first opportunity I will work on that to go over there, and that happens when I joined Wild Institute of India in 95. And that year, one scientist has gone on an expedition, and the second one, and he had come back and he showed his slides and other things. And the second person was going, and that time I told my director that I will go in next expedition, sure, for sure. And somehow I managed. So I was in on board ship from Goa. We started. At the moment, I'm sitting in Goa. So this was the journey, a long journey, 10,000 kilometers, passing through Mauritius, stopping at Mauritius, and then further down south to the roaring 40s and screaming 60s. These are the
Those are the
oceans
winds.
where there is no landmass actually below
Yes,
South Africa tip, and between North South America and the other side of South America, the peninsula, there is no landmass in between. So these are the one wave starts from this side and ends on the other side, traveling entire oceans, and you don't see any landmass for days together.
fascinating,
And
fascinating.
that was
And
fascinating journey. Then it
absolutely.
was
And there are
maybe
people listening to your story and finding it not just me. I'm not putting up the remarks as of now, but when you see the program, you'll be able to see the remarks of how they
sure.
find the journey inspiring, and how exciting it must have been for you. And before again putting on the videos, which I will right away, I would like to hear from you, your message of conservation, so that part of your, what you want to convey does not remain unfinished with us.
Sure, being in the field of protecting wildlife and nature, and we can't do it alone. The laws are there, and there are various regulations are there, but it's up to us and how we go about it and how we help in doing the same thing. Uh, it's everyone's responsibility. It's not one department or one organization which can do it. It's as a whole, and we as a species, we are the most dominating species on earth at the moment, and I think it's our duty that we should be humble and we should allow others to live in the way which they would like to live and in which they have evolved. And we are recent comers, we have come on earth in a recent times, so to say, geologically speaking or biologically speaking, evolutionary speaking. We are a pretty young species, but we do have those which have are with on this earth for a long, long time, and which have made this earth so beautiful and so fascinating, so diverse. And if we don't protect or we don't allow them to continue to live happily, I think we will be at a loss on a long run basis. So I think the message is very clear. Each one of us is responsible for protecting it and conserving it. And I would like everyone, whoever is listening or whoever will hear this, to continue with that. And uh, there, there is no end to this fascinating natural world. You go anywhere and you will find beauty everywhere. It's so beautifully managed. You don't see much machines and all, but I think at nanotech level, the nature works, and it's one of the most fascinating thing which is happening around us. But in our own race, we tend to forget or tend to leave things which we should not be leaving behind, or we should not be uh, doing. And I think that's where such platforms allow us to speak and convey also what we want and the way which we want. I think thanks for that also.
Along with us is also a very wonderful person, Dr. Bishaka Sarma, who has really enjoyed listening to your views. And to wind up, so to speak, our conversation, what is the road ahead, Saxena ji? So,
Road ahead, we have ups and downs. Sometimes you feel like Delhi, you live in Delhi, and when you see the level of pollution, uh, I remember the days when diesel, the CNG was not there, and then it was very difficult to live at that time. But then CNG came and things became better. But again, we are passing through another tough time, so to say, COVID or whatever. But then pollution uh, again is rising. So because the number of vehicles have increased so much, uh, these things will keep on coming, and we have the experiences, and we have the research which tells us what is good for us, and I think we should follow that. And that is where I think each one of us has to be responsible in taking care of the ecosystems and the environment in general.
um,
I missed your
can you hear me, sir?
your voice is not coming.
My voice. Now, can you hear me?
Now it's okay. Yeah.
Right. I was just trying to blank out the pollution sounds that were coming. And so, what I will try to do now, since we've had a very wonderful conversation, try to share the videos, which one we did share, and another one coming up of your stint with your at Andaman Nicobar Islands. and I'm sharing it right now.
Sure.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, but I think its clip is not coming.
The file is taking a while to load. So I'm waiting for that, and hopefully we can get it going too. And that is why I wanted us to finish our conversation in time.
We started late, but yeah, still in time.
No, we've had our conversation, thankfully. And I have shared the video, which is uploading itself. I think the StreamYard is a little slow today, and that's why the problem. That's
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, it's Andaman,
fabulous,
basically, and
actually.
some of our coastal areas, including Tamil Nadu
No, but
coastals.
I would like to bring to everybody's notice, those who were watching, there was a picture of a parakeet in that, which if you would tell us something about.
Yeah, that was actually John Gold's painting, which I have copied actually. So, and others are something like that. So that was Andaman red cheek parakeet, which I saw on a calendar, which was all John Gold's painting. And I think in late 70s, this calendar was Air India had come out with this calendar. But I've
So
seen
I'm
John
sharing
Gold.
your next
Sure.
video before we totally StreamYard takes over. So which
Sure.
might take again a little bit of time loading, but I'm glad we could get at least 2 of our videos in. And here comes the third one, hopefully. It's uploading itself, and that's the one on Antarctica.
Okay.
And so John Gold was the one who influenced you into painting the habitat, I
Broad
believe.
paintings. But in the landscape, you see Antarctica, when we reached there, it was all white and blue, white and blue. And because 24-hour sun was there. But when the sun
Yes.
starts setting in, then all the bright colors came into the landscape. And that's what I've tried to capture.
Gee,
And some
I think the
paintings.
video should be playing. Oh, I'm so glad we could manage to play all your videos, and you've been an absolutely wonderful, very gracious guest. You've borne with the technical hitches and everything, and a lot of people clapping for you and cheering you, and
Thanks.
hopefully we shall have you again with us. And thank you ever so much for your gracious presence, sir.
I must thank you and the ALS for hosting me, and all the best to you. And thanks
Thank
to
you,
all the
sir.
audience.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Thanks.
much, sir. Good night. And everybody who was watching, have a wonderful week ahead, and take care, stay healthy, and stay happy till we meet again.
Thanks, Neeti. Bye.
Bye.